Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I now call the Code Enforcement Special Magistrate meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome to the Hillsborough County Code Enforcement Special Magistrate hearing. When addressing the magistrate, please state your name, address, and speak clearly into the microphone. If you're planning to speak during this hearing, you must sign the speakers list located at the front door so your case can be called. Any person who decides to appeal a decision of the Code Enforcement Special Magistrate will need a record of the proceedings. The record is comprised of the testimony and evidence upon which an appeal is based. It is your responsibility to ensure a verbatim record of the proceedings is made. By law, you have 30 days to my date of my order to appeal my decision to circuit court. Presentations by the county, respondents, and opposition must be kept to a maximum of 10 minutes each. Special magistrate may recess at 12:30 and reconvene at 1:30 to conclude its business if needed. The basic process for this hearing is as follows. Ms. Meyer will conduct the oath of witness. Your case will be announced. Staff will present their evidence on this case. You will be allowed to rebut that evidence and explain what has occurred. And then I will close the hearing and announce a decision. I may ask questions and allow other witness testimony as necessary. Depending on my order, the county staff may later have to conduct an inspection to see if you have complied. If the staff believes you have not complied, you receive a notice in the mail. By law, you have 10 days to contest that notice, otherwise it will be considered correct and a lien may be filed against your property. For false alarm or water resources cases, if you have not complied by paying the past due burglar false alarm fine or the water resources penalty fine within the time ordered, you will receive a notice by mail. By law, you have 10 days to contest that notice, otherwise it will be considered correct and a lien may be filed against your property. If you have any questions, these rules are outlined by Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances and Laws, Chapter 14, Article 2, Section 14. And before we begin, please silence all electronic devices. First order of business, I approve the meeting minutes of March 6, 2020 and September 18th, 2020 for the Code Enforcement Special Magistrate. Please administer the oath.
Ready?
Yes, ma'am.
All county staff who will be testifying must take the oath of witness. Please stand and raise your right hand to take the oath. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. First case is on the last page of your agenda, number 60. The fire marshal case, number FM 20006. The owner is Maj Realty, LLC, and the violator is El Rico Frappe Latino. The location of the violation is 122 Pierce Christie Drive. We have service on both parties. And anyone who is here to speak on this case can come up now. And I understand we have someone virtually also.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning. My name is Sean Cox. I'm an attorney. I'll represent the owner of the property, MOJ Realty. There are two issues.
Take it.
Yeah.
Could you repeat that, Sean?
Yes. Good morning. My name is Sean Cox and I represent MOJ Realty. And we have two issues to address this morning. One is a violation for a hood and suppression system. And the second issue is unpermitted work. At this point in time, Maj Realty is obviously the owner of the property, and the tenant has taken significant steps to apply through the county to change a use of this specific property as a restaurant. Therefore, it's my understanding that the hood and suppression system has in fact been purchased. It's premature to install it until they do go through the application process to change the use to a restaurant. As to the other unpermitted work, obviously the purpose of the application process.
Can you stop him?
Properly.
I'm hot. Okay, I'm sorry, sir. If you can hear me, I just.
Mr. Cox, the fire marshal will present their case.
We got to do the case and the facts first, then I can listen to your testimony, sir. If you can give me just 1 second.
Good morning. My name is Inspector Tom Mitchell with Hillsborough County Fire Rescue, address 9450 East Columbus Drive, Tampa, Florida, 33619. The case in point is the Valrico Frappe Latino at 122 Pierce Christie Drive in Valrico. The initial first inspection was conducted on 5/28/18 with the following violations that were cited. Unpermitted construction, change of occupancy was needed, and a cooking hood suppression system was needed to be installed. The first follow-up inspection was not conducted until January 24th, 2019, at which time the noted violations were still in existence and had not been corrected. Again, a second follow-up inspection was conducted on 5/16/19, and the following violations were still not corrected: the unpermitted construction, the change of occupancy, and the cooking equipment needing to be installed. On 10/30/19, a registered letter was sent to the owner and occupant, and at that point, we had another follow-up inspection on 1/9/20, finding the violation still noted.
Okay. During the time between 5/28/2018, when the initial violations were noticed, in 5/16/2019, there was no change?
There was no change.
Course of a year in regards to the unpermitted, the change of occupancy? Correct. Hood? Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. Well, sir, what would you like to tell us?
Good morning, everybody.
Microphone.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Colin Rice. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Shoemaker, Loop and Kendrick, 101 East Kennedy Boulevard, Suite 2800. I represent the tenants in this matter, Jeanette Maldonado and Leonel Guzman of El Rico Frappe. I don't know whether Mr. Cox wishes to kick things off. He represents the landlord. I know that he had begun speaking. I'll be happy to turn it to him to begin.
That's fine. We can go virtually.
Okay, switch it.
Mr. Rice, please continue. I'll conclude when you're finished.
And I'm back. All right. Well, thank you all for being here this morning. So I became involved with this case earlier this year. I've been in touch with Mr. Mitchell and Mr. Hansen, and I appreciate their professional courtesies on this matter. If you'll just allow me a minute to kind of explain how we got here and what our goals are going forward, I would appreciate that. So I do have a couple of pieces of evidence just to submit for the record to give a little bit of context. El Rico Frappe has been here for several years. They're actually already licensed with both Department of Business and Professional Regulation with the state and Hillsborough County in terms of their alcoholic beverage approval. I do have copies of those approvals for the record. Thank you. And again, we're not here to contest the violation. We just want to explain kind of where we are with the steps. As Mr. Cox had alluded, they have purchased the hood suppression unit. I have an invoice here I'll submit as well for the record. Unfortunately, it is just sitting in a warehouse right now because everyone would love to install it right now, but we have the change of occupancy hurdle to overcome first because a permit can't issue until that step has been taken care of. I'll submit this all together, but to that end, I also have supporting documentation from a pre-submittal conference that I attended with all of the relevant reviewing departments with Hillsborough County in terms of what needs to happen to effectuate this change of use so that we can install the unit and become fully complied.
And when was that meeting?
That was September of this year, and subsequently the county sent me all of the supporting documentation. It included a review from stormwater, zoning, lighting plans, transportation, site engineering, utilities, streets and roads, the whole deal. So we now have a clear runway, what needs to happen going forward to become compliant. So a few more for the record. Thank you, Matt. So Mr. Cox and I have been in pretty consistent communication. We appreciate their cooperation through this process. I don't want to speak for the fire marshal's office, but I think we're all trying to seek compliance as quickly and as rationally as possible here. To that end, we would respectfully request a finding today that does not result in the imposition of fines, be that an order of abatement to be revisited later or a continuance. Fines by function of statute put landlord and tenant at odds, right? Because if a fine runs and accrues and becomes a lien, that's a problem for the landlord, and that becomes a problem for the tenant. And we really need to keep the spirit of cooperation to finish this rather large project to become fully compliant and do it the right way. So in that spirit, we respectfully request a finding today that does not result in the imposition of fines so that we can further this process, engage with design professionals, and get this finished completely. And I'm available for any questions. Ms. Maldonado of El Rico Frappe is here as well. We'll be happy to answer any questions you've got.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Cox?
Yes, briefly, thank you again for the opportunity, and I do appreciate the professionalism of everyone involved in this matter. I'll echo briefly some of the evidence forwarded by my colleague, Mr. Rice. My client is the owner of the properties in the position, especially in this environment of working cooperatively with the tenant. We're relying on the tenant's good faith actions to move this process forward. They're going through the process of seeking to get the change of use, do it properly and correctly the first time through the county. And I think they've made substantive, legitimate steps in that regard, including the application process, the purchase of the equipment. It is a little bit of a project to change this use. Where we can, in fact, we will accommodate and work cooperatively, obviously, with both the county as well as the tenant. This property is currently up for sale. Obviously, this could cause significant financial hardship on my client if the sale is either scuttled or doesn't go forward because of this pending issue, which does create a title issue. So simply, we'd ask for forbearance based upon the good faith actions of the tenant to demonstrate and change the use of this particular property. And in that regard, we would simply seek a toll of any type of fines and abatement of the action to give them sufficient time. And again, I would stress to everyone in the room, although I'm not there personally, if you take a look at the record evidence in front of everyone, the tenant is trying to move this process forward, and I think we should allot them the time to do this. Again, thank you for your time and your cooperation today.
Thank you. Inspector, give me some idea from a life safety standpoint. This process, obviously, I understand the tenant and the owner are working together to get this completed in a relatively efficient fashion, but this is since 2018. Mm-hmm. So where are we in regards to life safety?
Right now, it is, where it's at, not installed. They do have some fryers in place. With just a residential cooking type ventilator hood. They do not have the completed fire suppression system put in place.
Okay. And then Mr. Rice, in your pre-submittal meeting, did they give you an idea of what your timeline was? I know you've gone through the process. They've given you a laundry list of things to complete, but what type of timeline we're looking at to getting this complete and installed?
It's variable. My hope is to get the initial submission, everything that they've requested, hopefully by year end, but January. As these things tend to bounce between departments and there are things to address, I'm reluctant to give you a precise time frame. I can pledge that we'll be as diligent as possible in addressing all the county's concerns.
Okay. That being said, I tend to agree that the fact that you're being cooperative between the parties to get this completed, there is something in place, but it isn't what we want quite yet. There has been a purchase of the hood. I'm inclined to give a very short continuance. I know you guys get paid by the hour, and I apologize, but I'd like you guys to come back more frequently until we can get a defined timeline of when this is going to be. So unless anybody has an objection to that, I'm going to rule in this case.
No.
Okay, all right. I rule in case FM 20006 that based on the evidence presented, I ask that this case be continued for 60 days. And that would put us into the, I'm sorry, I don't have the,
60 days would be February 2nd. We do not have hearing dates approved yet, but
so we'll be notifying you by mail, but 60 days, whatever that meeting falls into for the February meeting.
Okay.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
turn to page 29, number 55, under landscaping and natural resource cases. Case number L195715. The owner is River Bay Plaza BH LLC, location 9822 US Highway 301 South. And we have service. Someone is here virtually, I believe.
Yes, I am. Stephanie Martin on behalf of River Bay.
Ms. Martin, do you need to take the oath?
I believe we've reached an agreement with the county. I'm just here to answer any questions that the magistrate may have. I'm happy to take the oath if needed.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Right. They're going to be able, can you get the presentation up? Thank you. This is Krista Hull with the county's Development Services Department. This is case L195715, property owner and violator, River Bay Plaza BH LLC, violation address 9812 South 301 Highway, Riverview. Violation observed, unpermitted removal of 4 oak trees measuring a total of 97 inches DBH, and failure to restore the landscaping materials deficient for the River Bay Plaza. Ordinance violated is section 6.06.07, 4.01.03, and 12.01. First inspection, October the 14th, 2019. First notice, October 23rd, 2019. Last inspection, November 18th, 2020. Three inspections. First inspection done on October the 14th by John Beavers, identified tree removal that had been taking place throughout the parking area. Parking islands are missing trees that were required for their landscaping. And these are more photos across the parking lot. Empty islands. You can see the mulch on some of the islands. November the 18th, he went back out to the parking area. No tree replacements had been made on the site to restore their landscaping. The trees were removed without permits, so they require full replacement. This recommendation by the county staff is asking that the River Bay Plaza submit a compliant tree restoration and/or contribution agreement for 97 dB8 inches of trees within 30 calendar days. Complete the restoration and/or contribution to the restoration fund within 90 calendar days from receipt of the approved agreement. install the required landscaping trees, and provide irrigation within 90 calendar days. They can possibly combine the restoration requirement with the landscaping. They would just have to upsize the landscaping trees to meet the total. If they do not get a full 97 inches back on the property, then we could ask them to do the balance in the contribution fund. So that's why there's several points here. And we're asking for fines if they fail to meet these timeframes. I did review that with Ms. Martin, with the River Bay Plaza people.
Okay. Is the irrigation requirement part of the county?
Yes.
Is that typical? I know.
Yes, it is typical for commercial sites. If it's not present, we could not identify that there was good irrigation. That's a requirement when landscaping's put in. So since we did not identify it for present out there, we're going to have to include it this time.
Okay. Okay. Okay, ma'am, online, is there something that you'd like to add?
I don't really have anything to add. My client just simply asked that I appear. They need 90 days to get the landscaping installed. They've obtained a quote to take care of that, as well as take care of the irrigation. So we are fine with the county's proposal.
Okay, fantastic. Can you put them back up for me?
Please
Can you put the presentation back up for me, please?
put the recommendation up, please. Thank you.
Thank you. I rule in case L195715, the basis in the evidence presented, I find the property is in violation of Hillsborough County Codes and Ordinances listed in staff's presentation. Furthermore, I concur with staff's recommendation and order that the violator submit a compliant tree restoration and or contribution agreement for 97 dBH inches of trees within 30 calendar days. Complete the restoration and or contribution to the restoration fund within 90 calendar days from received or approved agreement, and install required landscaping trees and provide irrigation within 90 calendar days. Failure to meet any of these deadlines stated above will result in a fine of $100 per day.
Just one quick question. Krista, is the 90 days on the number 3 from today or from the receipt of the agreement?
It would be from the receipt of the agreement.
Okay.
But they did agree today to find this information.
Okay. I just want to get the order
So
right.
we'll keep it at 90 days from when we get that agreement.
Okay. Page 30, number 57, case number L195753. The owner is Baby A. McKill, location 3108 John Moore Road. We have service, and we have come up now. Good morning.
Good morning. I have not taken the oath yet. I have not taken the oath yet.
Okay, raise your right hand, and if he will testify,
He, probably just for language barrier, he would prefer I speak, but he can take the oath.
understand.
Yeah, take it.
He needs to take it too.
Yeah,
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And I will need both of you to state your name and address for the record.
My name is Jerry Hoffman. My address is 4536 Oak River Circle, Valrico, 33596. And I'm representing the owner, Baby McKill, and he can give you his address and state your name and address.
1612 Heritage Drive, Valrico, Florida 33594. Sure.
Please put the presentation up. This is the Krista Hull with the Development Services Department, case L195753. Property owner and violator is Baby A. McKill. Violation address 3108 John Moore Road in Brandon. Violation is failure to comply with the permit, single family 88852. Condition number 1, all lot grading must conform to a county approved plan and no fill affidavit. Ordinance violated is section 4.114.c. First inspection, October 24th, 2019. 2019. First notice, October 30th, 2019. Last inspection, actually, the last inspection was December the 2nd. It was just updated the other day. 4 inspections total. January 15th, 2020, Jeremy Ratliff was at the property. He's one of the single-family inspectors for the county. Identified some land alteration that exceeded the single-family permit. It was also causing drainage impacts to adjacent property, and that's how it was brought to our attention from the neighbors. There's a live oak tree and a septic tank in this area, and the drainage was impacting the neighbors. The current condition of the property in January the 15th. And there was stockpiles of soil, which exceeded in the no-fill affidavit. Filling is only allowed on a no-fill affidavit for the single-family pad and just a little bit around the house, but not any further. Also, if you note, there's no tree barricades around the property. So there was some issues at that time that had to be addressed. This is the fence that had come down because of the neighbor's complaint. They had fallen down due to conditions caused by the excess materials and causing the water to erode and stand in that area per the complainant. That's another stockpile of fill that was identified on January the 15th. November 17th, Jeremy went back out to the property, looked at the front of the house and at the west side. They were starting to do some improvements, trying to fix the area. There was, this is the rear of the house that a small stockpile of pit fill still was around the property, needed to be removed. There was an updated site plan that had been submitted to address the floodplain and create a compensation pond on the side of the house. At this time, the pond had not been made, so it had not met the drainage requirements for that single-family home. You can see there was a small swell that was put around the tree. Now, this is the December 2nd photo that Jeremy did this week. Per the approved, revised lot grading plan, a swell had been put around, a floodplain compensation pond was being constructed, and sod was going to be placed out once the pond dries out. So we do see some definite improvement based on a new revised plan. So the county's recommendation based on Jeremy's inspection is to finalize this lot grading requirements so that we can ensure there won't be any additional offsite impacts, and to submit a topographical as-built survey within 60 days from completion of construction. There'll be fines applied if this is failure to meet the timeframes.
Okay. Mr. Hoffman,
Yes.
something you'd like to add?
Thank you. Yes, good morning, Special Magistrate. Ms. Hall has given the demonstration of photos, which I have, so I don't need to submit those.
Okay.
And I had met with Mr. Ratliff, Jeremy, 2 days ago there. And we had also had plans to start sodding that new drainage plan, other than the rain of Monday morning came and the drainage plan worked fine, and now the pond has water. So the good news is we're almost there.
It came down in buckets too.
It came down in buckets.
It did.
And it went where it needed to go.
Good.
So Mr. Ratliff had explained exactly what he wanted us to do to finish, which is what Ms. Hull shows there. So we're in line with that.
Okay.
And that helps us get through the house. As soon as it dries up for a few days, we'll get back out there. But
Excuse
just
one moment, sir. I'm going to need you to wear your mask over your nose too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But the original builder who was involved helping Mr. McKill, he went into bankruptcy last year And I've just started helping him the last few months. So he has every intention to comply.
Okay, so the timelines that are shown in the 60 days and 60 days,
That should be fine.
Okay.
That should be fine.
Okay, terrific.
Thank you.
Thank you. I move in case L195753, based on the evidence presented, I find that the property is in violation of Hillsborough County codes or ordinances as listed in staff's presentation. Furthermore, based on this, I concur with the staff's recommendations and require the violator to finalize the site construction as depicted on the most recent approved lot grading plan to address the floodplain and offsite impacts within 60 calendar days, and then submit a topographical as-built survey within 60 days from completion of that construction. Failure to meet any of the timelines above will result in a fine of $100 per day. Excellent. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
Next case is number 58, case number L195802. The owner is Tony L. Mannion, location 2009 Wallace Road. We have service, and I believe Mr. Mannion is online virtually for the hearing.
Can you hear me and see me okay?
I don't see you yet.
There you go.
Could you raise your right hand, sir? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
And state your name and address.
Tony Mannion, 2009 Wallace Road, Lutz, Florida 33548.
Is the inspector present too, Mr. Doyen?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it. In case there's any additional questions for this case, this is Krista Hall with the county's development services. Case L195802, property owner and violator is Tony L. Mannion. Violation address is 2009 Wallace Road, Lutz. Violation observed is unpermitted removal of 5 oak trees measuring 18, 22, 19, 26, and 39 inches DBH. The diameter at 4.5 feet above existing grade. Ordinance violated is section 4.01.03. First inspection, December 11, 2019. First notice, December 16, 2019. Last inspection, November 4, 2020. 3 inspections. At the time, Mr. Doyle went to the property in December, identified all this tree removal that was being conducted on a vacant property. Back on December the 11th. It was identified that there was a trade company involved named Drew's Landscaping. He submitted paperwork that showed a handwritten receipt. I have tried to contact this Drew's Landscaping numerous times. Mr. Doyen has tried to contact this Drew's Landscaping and was not able to get any response from them. I did get a call from a Drew yesterday, and he did not act like he knew anything about this property. So we have not been able to locate an address for this Drew's Landscaping, so it's not a valid business. Unfortunately, that leaves that the property owner is responsible for resolving this violation. If he's able to track down and get a hold of this business that he had a contract with, he may have to handle this civilly to get his, costs covered for whatever damages this company has done to him. Based on the information that Mr. Mannion did give us, I did agree to reduce it by 50% since he was provided by this landscaping company false information. They told him that you didn't need trees permits anymore because the county was not in the business of doing permitting, and that information was in error. So I did agree to reduce it by 50% to have a restoration or a contribution agreement for 62 inches and within the next 30 days, complete this restoration contribution agreement to the fund within 120 days from receipt of the approved agreement, since it's a larger than normal amount for most homeowners. And the fines will be issued for failure to meet these timeframes.
Okay. Mr. Mannion, would you like to add anything?
Yes, please. I guess just kind of how we got here. I purchased this land with intent to build a house. Time and money restrictions just have not allowed that to happen. The lot has basically remained pretty much the way that I purchased it, for several years. I received a letter from the neighbor to my east, citing specifically that I had diseased trees that were falling into their yard, and specifically, by the way, I've uploaded all of these documents, so they should be on file if you choose to review them. But the family cited that they were in fear for their children and their pets' lives. An example is an 18-inch diameter limb had fallen into their side of the yard. It fell in 2 feet deep. He had to get his Jeep out and pull it out. So it was, pretty bad. So I met with them on the property, and sure enough, the trees were diseased. They were falling down, and it was causing the problems, both from labor perspective, but also safety. So I agreed to do, something about it, to have the trees removed. He also cited, hey, there's this new ordinance that allows, because if there's disease involved, then you don't need to have inspections or permits. You can just take care of the issue. I think, Mr. Doyle had explained to me the facts around that ordinance and how my neighbor was giving me inaccurate information. Unfortunately, that was after the fact. But so I did seek some different bids to have the trees removed. I did contract with Drew's Landscape for the removal, and also had a couple of other bids. So this is basically the contract. I have text messages that also lock this into a legally binding agreement. I did a payment plan with them to pay them off as they proceeded with work. They did remove the diseased trees, and they were the ones who so basically stated that the Hillsborough County permit office had been disbanded due to cost-cutting measures. So that obviously is not the case. But I received 3 different sources of information that cited that, hey, this is considered in the country, not in the city. I did not need the permits, and again, Mr. Doyle did a great job of explaining how that was an error, and also that my property has enough tree coverage on the west that it helps to provide all the shading that's needed for this. So in essence, I went into this in good faith, trying to help be a good neighbor and eliminate a safety problem at my own expense. It was considerable expense. I didn't have the money necessarily at the time, and Drew's Landscaping was the most affordable that I could go with, in a short time frame. I didn't want any more 18-inch limbs or larger having the trees fall into and actually hitting his cars, etc. So I went into this with good faith and to try to do the right thing. And unfortunately, I was lied to, and that doesn't sit well with me. But at the same time, I've tried to remain in compliance with everything, every step of the way. I provided contact information. I've provided every item that I have to help pursue Drew's Landscape. I would be willing to set up a sting operation with a third party that would be, call them to get a quote for something, and then could possibly hand deliver this citation over to them. This really is, I know I'm the property owner, absolutely, but this is their responsibility because they're the one who lied to me and did the work under a contract. So I'm asking for the fees to be levied to Drew's Landscape, and perhaps I could plant a couple of trees, small in size, that will grow to accommodate good faith and give back to the community.
Okay. Ms. Holt, he has the ability to do restoration, correct? He can
This is a vacant lot. I would say yes, he has the ability to do restoration or donations. I do have a question. He mentioned that his intent was to build on this lot. And I'm considering the fact that if he was going to build on this lot, based on the size of these trees, 2 of these trees would have required 50% replacements. And when would he plan to build on this lot?
I've had the lot for several years. It's just a time and money thing. I haven't had the time and money to secure a set of plans. So it's been my intent to build for the last couple of years, and it might be another year or two before I'm able to follow through with that.
Well, typically, based on the tree removal that you did, 2 of those trees would have required replacements up to 32 inches. I had already agreed to 50% in regards to all 5 of the trees. I can't consider just small replacement trees, as all of these were significantly good-sized trees. But I will consider reducing it to the single-family requirement for the 2 trees, and that would bring it down to 32 inches.
Okay. Mr. Mannion, does that work for you?
I'm not sure what the economics of 32 inches means. I think it's at 65, so I'm trying to do some quick math. And I
tell you that it's less.
I'm sorry?
I said I can safely tell you that it's less.
No, understood. I'm just trying from my economics. I'm sorry. So considering these trees were heavily diseased and falling apart, I mean, is there anything else that could possibly be offered? If I did donation, could that be cut in half or something like that?
If you're donating the 32 inches, we will give you double credit. So that is basically another half.
Okay, then that I believe I can do.
I'm a negotiator because she's one tough cookie, and I can safely say I haven't seen this great of a reduction and this long of a timeline in quite some time. So Ms. Hall likes you.
Well, thank you, Ms. Hall, and Mr. Doyen did a fabulous job in trying to track down these culprits for to keep it clean.
I understand you got on the wrong side of the fence on this one, and I hope you continue to follow up on the issues you've had with your landscaper. So based on that, I think if we have an agreement, I'll move forward with ruling on the case. Mr. Mannion, anything else you want to add?
No, but can you just summarize the final? It was 32 inches?
2 inches of trees.
Absolutely.
32 inches of trees, and then a donation would count as double, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then will I receive paper notification of this with instructions how to follow through?
An order will be issued after this hearing today.
Okay, awesome. And then thank you, I appreciate it. Am I free to leave this hearing, or do I need to stay on for the rest of the hearing?
I'm going to go ahead and rule. If you want to listen to that, you're more than welcome to, and that'll summarize the requirements for this case.
Okay.
Case L195802, based on the evidence presented, I find the violator is in violation of Hillsborough County Courts or solicit staff's presentation. Further, based on the evidence provided and the testimony, I concur with staff's recommendation and require the violator to submit a compliant tree restoration and or contribution agreement for 32 dBH inches of trees within 30 calendar days, and then to complete restoration and or contribution to the restoration fund within 120 days from receipt of approved agreement. Failure to meet these timelines listed above will result in a fine of $25 per day.
Thank you again.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Mannion.
Have a good rest of the day.
Next case, please.
Okay, we have one more L case. We're going to go ahead and do it. And it is on page 29, number 56, case number L195717. The owner is Gallagher Family Living Trust, and the violator is 12 Tree Environmental LLC, location 15704 Spring Moss Lane. We have service on both parties and no one is present.
I don't see it on my. Give me just a minute, I'm not finding it on my screen. There it is. Krista Hall with the Development Services. This is case L 195717, property owner, the Gallagher Family Living Trust, the violator, Anthony Martinez, doing business as 12 Tree Environmental LLC. Violation address is 15704 Spring Moss Lane, Tampa. Violation observed, unpermitted removal of an oak tree measuring 23 inches DBH, diameter at 4.5 feet above a grade. Ordinance violated, section 4.01.03, first inspection October 8th, 2019, first notice October 9th, 2019, last inspection July 14th, 2020, 3 inspections. First inspection conducted on October 8, 2019 by Mr. Doyen. He identified the tree removal and the size of the tree. That is the debris that was left by the tree at that time. We had talked to both parties, the tree company and the property owner. The property owner agreed to restore a tree on his property for the landscaping. We went out and credited a new magnolia tree for the property. We had talked to the tree company, and they have agreed to restore and pay the balance of the rest of the trees. So that leaves a county recommendation for the tree company to submit a tree restoration or contribution agreement for 19 inches of trees within 30 calendar days, complete the restoration or contribution to the restoration fund within 60 calendar days from receipt of the approved agreement. The violator, Anthony Martinez, doing business as 12 Environmental, is responsible for resolving this matter with the county, and the property owner shall be removed from the violation. Apply fines for this if the tree company doesn't meet the timeframes. He sent me an email yesterday saying he will do a contribution. He just needed time, so I adjusted it based on what he agreed to do, and that's a 60-day timeframe.
Terrific. And there's no one present or online to testify?
No, sir. This is just the last L case, so
Gotcha.
we're going to go
Knock it out. Okay.
Okay.
I move in case L 195717 that based on the evidence presented, the violator has violated Hillsborough County codes or ordinances as listed in staff's presentation. Further, based on the violator and his actions, I concur with staff's recommendation and require the violator to submit a compliant tree restoration and or contribution agreement for 19 DBH inches of trees within 30 calendar days. To complete restoration and or contribution to restoration fund within 60 calendar days from receipt of the approved agreement. And to the violator, Anthony Martinez, DBA 12 Environmental, is responsible for resolving this matter. The property owner, Gallagher Family Living Trust, shall be removed from the violation. Failure to meet any of these timelines as listed above will result in a penalty of $50 per day.
Okay, we will go now to the water cases, beginning on page first one will be on page 28, number 54, case number WR 2000963. The owner is Tessalyn Fairburn and Ashley F. Fogel, location 7219 Blue Beach Drive. We have service and we have someone signed on virtually for this case.
Good morning, Mark Huey with Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. We got here case number WR 2000963. Officer Baker arrived at 7219 Blue Beach Drive to find watering on the rear left side of the property. This was a non-watering day, watering on a restricted day. The notice of violation was sent out 7 17/2020. The default was sent out 8/18/2020. And then the notice of hearing was hand delivered by Officer Baker 11/20/2020. And there's a $100 fine.
Is there someone online for this case?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear us, ma'am?
Right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
State your name and address.
Ashley Fairburn, 7219 Blue Beach Drive, Riverview, Florida, 33578.
Person going to testify?
I'm sorry?
Someone else in the screen with you?
Oh, yeah. Yes, ma'am. This is my wife. She's also on the notice.
It's Tessa Lynn Fairburn at 7219 Blue Beach Drive, Riverview, 33578.
Thank you.
Okay, ladies, what would you like to tell us?
Okay, so whenever we received the notice, whenever I was standing outside and the gentleman, Officer Baker, came up to me, this was the first time that I ever heard of it. And yes, I take full responsibility for the irrigation system. It's been something that we both grew up in Ohio and we don't really know much about it. And the previous owner did state that there was something wrong with it. So the month previous to that, we had a $500 water bill because it was running all night. But like I said, I take responsibility for that. And it was the first time that we ever heard of it just because they had the wrong address. So
the communication for our violation, our notice, the hearing, and the correspondence had all been sent to an old address. So during our closing, the deed had listed the temporary address as the permanent one. So when Mr. Baker came to our address a few weeks ago to let us know that the hearing was obviously this morning, it was the first time we had heard of it because the correspondence had been sent to an old address. So we had never received the communication. It wasn't that we were ignoring it or not updating the information as needed. We were just simply unaware until obviously a few days ago. So over the last few days, I've made the appropriate updates. I was just in the portal and uploading the documents through Hillsborough County to have the deed update and reflect our resident address and our permanent address here at Blue Beach, as well as the tax collector. We were then informed that the homestead exemption had also lapsed, and that communication was additionally going to the old address. So on top of the communication with the violation for the watering on the wrong times that we were unaware of, the homestead exemption was in the previous owner's names and had lapsed. And then that communication and correspondence was additionally going to the old address. So we have been unaware this entire time that the deed and property appraiser information had the wrong address.
And it's cost us quite a bit of money as far as tax wise. And I mean, we would have corrected it or appealed it as far as the fines, or I mean the violations, if they were corresponded correctly. Both of us lost our job in this, and I'm high risk, so I told Dr. Baker, and he Officer Baker, he kind of laughed, but I said, you know, I would have been out there watering it with a hose, like on the right days, if that's what it took, because we don't really have anything else to do during this, and we just would have took the appropriate measures to correct it and also respond to the correspondence.
And we've additionally updated with a new landscaping person who's helped us make sure that the sprinkler system is on the right days and times. So it was an error that it was going off at the wrong time. And like my wife had mentioned, we've had some issues, and including more than once where it was on overnight for several hours and our water bill was over $500 and had to rectify that with the billing as well.
No, I mean, we paid that. We paid it. It is something that, as homeowners, this is, as you can see, the address that they were sending everything to was a townhome. So whenever we moved here from Ohio, it was a townhome that we did not have any responsibility for the irrigation system or the landscaping. So moving in and buying a house and then getting married in a pandemic, it was something that I guess was not learned very well, or not researched enough as far as the type of irrigation system. And Officer Baker also, helped me with that. So we're just
Thank you, ladies. Officer, is there any violations on this property other than this one in history that you are aware of?
Let me see.
Hopefully not, because we're not aware either.
We might have a second case on this one. No, this is the only one.
Single only violation. Okay.
There's two different violations that are water, and we didn't know.
Two different dates of the water.
Yeah, so if there was, that's why we were just a little upset, because the first one was dated 6 in the month, and then the next one was, I think, 7/17, but we didn't receive any of those.
I think
so. The two different violations we were unaware of.
I think it's just one violation, and there was two correspondence that we just didn't receive.
Two different ones.
It's the same date.
What a great way to move to Florida.
I know. Especially
and it's cold today, and we both have on sweatshirts.
All right, ladies, I appreciate your testimony, and my understanding is that this issue has been resolved in regards to your landscaper correcting the times on the timer, so this won't happen in the future.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Fantastic. I rule in case WR 2000963 that based on the evidence presented, I dismiss this case.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Ladies, thank you for your testimony. Happy holidays.
Thank you so much.
You as well. Stay
Thank
safe,
you.
please.
Next case, please.
Turn to page 18, number 34, under water cases, WR 2000-170. This case was canceled on December 1st, 2020. Number 35, WR 2000-177. The owner is McDonald's Restaurants of Florida, Incorporated. Location 4650 McIntosh Road. We have service and no one is present.
Mark Huey, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. On Friday, 4/10/2020 at 3:14 p.m., Director Joe Gross arrived at 4650 McIntosh Road to find the watering sprinkler system on in the front part of the restaurant, the front sidewalk area. And this was a restricted day during restricted hours. The notice of violation was sent out on 4/13/2020. Default sent out 6/12/2020. The notice of hearing was mailed 12/4/2020, and there's a $100 fine.
Prior violations?
No.
Are we without testimony from here forward on these? Or are there still people? Are we without testimony from?
There is no more testimony on the water cases. We're just going to go through them.
Rapid. Understand. Okay. I rule in case WR 2000177 that based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the water resources penalty fine for illegal sprinkling imposed by section 111-7 Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances and Laws, Part B, Public Utilities. I grant the violator 30 days to pay the water penalty fine imposed. In order, if that payment is not made, a fine of $20 per day be assessed.
Turn to page 19, number 36, WR 2000-179. The owner is Wadsworth Bloxham Cruise Trust, location 19702 Prince Benjamin Drive. We have service and no one is present.
Mark Huey, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement, Friday, 4/10/2020 at 12:34 p.m. Officer Whaley inspected the property and found the irrigation system on and the front yard, right side of the driveway. And this was on a watering during restricted day and hours. The notice of violation was sent out 4/13/2020. Default was sent out 6/12/2020. Notice of hearing was hand delivered by Officer Baker on 11/20/2020, and there's a $100 fine.
Previous violations?
No, sir.
I move rule in case WR 200179 that based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the water resources penalty fine for illegal sprinkling imposed by section 111-7 Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances and Laws Part B Public Utilities. I grant the violator 30 days to pay the water penalty fine imposed. In order, if that payment is not made by that date, a fine of $20 per day be assessed.
Number 37, case number WR 2000-198, the owner Danva Development LLC, location 19215 Livingston Avenue. We have service and no one is present.
Okay, on Friday, 4/10/2020 at 1:01 p.m., Officer Paul Whaley arrived at this property and found the irrigation system on in the front parking lot on one of the islands. This was a watering on a restricted day during restricted hours. The notice of violation was sent out 4/14/2020. The default was sent out 5/21/2020. The notice of hearing was mailed out on 12/4/2020, and there's a $100 fine on this one as well.
Previous violations?
No.
Thank you. I rule in case WR 200198 that based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the water resources penalty fine for illegal sprinkling imposed by section 111-7 Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances and Laws Part B Public Utilities. I grant the violator 30 days to pay the water penalty fine imposed. In order, if that payment is not made by that date, a fine of $20 per day be assessed.
Page 20, number 38. WR 2000-247. The owner is Progress Tampa 1 LLC, location 10023 Newminster Loop. We have service and no one is present.
All right, Wednesday, 4/15/2020 at 6:20 a.m. in the morning. Officer Baker arrived at this location to find the irrigation system on the front yard right side. This was a watering during restricted day. The notice of violation was sent out 4/16/2020. Default 5/19/2020. Notice of hearing was mailed 12/4/2020. $100 fine, and there's no previous cases.
I rule in case WR 2000-247 that based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the water resources penalty fine for illegal sprinkling imposed by section 111-7 Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances and Laws Part B Public Utilities. I grant the violator 30 days to come in I grant the violator 30 days to pay the water penalty fine imposed, or if that payment is not made by that date, a fine of $20 per day be assessed.
Number 39, WR 2000-260. Owner is SFR Holdings 2 LP, location 10004 Sage Creek Drive. We have service and no one is present.
Right, on Wednesday, 4/15/2020 at 7:01 a.m., Officer Baker inspected the property, found the irrigation system on the front yard right side. This was watering during a restricted day. The notice of violation was sent out 4/17/2020. Default 5/19/2020. The notice of hearing was mailed 12/4/2020. $100 fine and no previous cases.
I rule in case WR 2000-260 that based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the water resources penalty fine for illegal sprinkling imposed by section 111-7 Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances and Laws Part B Public Utilities. I grant the violator 30 days to pay the water penalty fine imposed. In order, if that payment is not made by that date, a fine of $20 per day be assessed.
Page 21, number 40, WR 2000-264. Cerberus SFR Holdings 2 LLP, location 9635 Sage Creek Drive. We have service and no one is present.
This violation occurred on Wednesday, 4/15/2020 at 7:11 a.m. Officer Baker arrived at the location, found the water sprinkler system on in the rear of the home. This was watering on a restricted day. Notice of violation was sent out 4/17/2020. Default 5/19/2020. The notice of hearing was mailed 12/4/2020. There's a $100 fine and there's no previous cases.
I rule in case WR 2000 264, that based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the water resources penalty fine for illegal sprinkling imposed by section 111-7, Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances and Laws, Part B, Public Utilities. I grant the violator 30 days to pay the water penalty fine imposed, in order if that payment is not made by that date, a fine of $20 per day be assessed.
Number 41, WR 2000-308. The owner is AH4R Properties 2 LLC, location 11221 Lake Lanier Drive. We have service and no one is present.
On Tuesday, 4/21/2020 at 6:50 a.m., Officer Paul Whaley arrived at the property and found the irrigation system on the right side of the driveway. This was watering on a restricted day. The notice of violation was sent out 4/22/2020. The default was sent out 5/28/2020, and the notice of hearing was mailed 11/24/2020. $100 fine and no previous cases.
I rule in case WR 2000308 that based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the water resources penalty fine for illegal sprinkling imposed by section 111-7, Hillsborough County Codes and Ordinances and Laws, Part B, Public Utilities. I grant the violator 30 days to pay the water penalty fine imposed. In order if that payment is not made by that date, a fine of $20 per day be assessed.
Page 22, number 42, WR 2000-332. This case complied December 1st, 2020. Number 43, WR 2000-353. The owner is AINOFL LLC, location 11806 Winterset Cove Drive. We have service and no one is present.
Wednesday, 4/22/2020 at 6:52 a.m., Officer Paul Whaley arrived at the location and found the irrigation system on the right side of the driveway. This was watering on a restricted day. The notice of violation sent out 4/27/2020. The default was sent out 5/28/2020. Notice of hearing was posted by Officer Whaley on 11/23/2020, and a $100 fine with no previous cases.
I rule in case WR 200353, the base of the evidence further, the violator has failed to pay the water resources penalty fine for illegal sprinkling imposed by section 111-7, Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances and Laws, Part B, Public Utilities. I grant the violator 30 days to pay the water penalty fine imposed. Order if that payment is not made by that date, a fine of $20 per day be assessed.
Before we go any further, the two ladies who testified online, there is another case for them that I missed. Would you like to try to get them back on the phone, or do you want to just incorporate the same testimony when we get to it?
I'd like to get them back if we can.
Okay. All right, next case is on page 23. WR 2000-359, American Homes for Rent Properties 7 LLC, location 10649 Navigation Drive. We have service and no one is present.
Friday, 4/24/2020 at 6:59 a.m., Officer Paul Whaley arrived at the property, found watering irrigation system on the left side of the driveway. This was watering on a restricted day. Notice of violation was sent out 4/27/2020. Default was sent out 5/28/2020. Notice of hearing was mailed 12/4/2020. $100 fine with no previous cases.
I move in case WR 2000359, the base of the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the water resources penalty fine for illegal sprinkling imposed by section 111-7, Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances and Laws, Part B, Public Utilities. I grant the violator 30 days to pay the water penalty fine imposed. In order if that payment is not made by that date, a fine of $20 per day be assessed.
Number 45, WR 2000-365. Owner is IH3 Property Florida LP, location 13464 Flatgate Mark Drive. We have service and no one is present.
On Wednesday, 4/22/2020 at 7:07 a.m., Officer Ted Baker arrived at the property, found the irrigation system on in the right side front yard. This is watering on a restricted day. The notice of violation was sent out 4/27/2020. Default 5/28/2020. The notice of hearing was mailed 12/4/2020. $100 fine with no previous cases.
I rule in case WR 200365 that based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the water resources penalty fine for illegal sprinkling imposed by section 111-7, Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances and Laws, Part B, Public Utilities. I grant the violator 30 days to pay the water penalty fine imposed. Order if that payment is not made by that date, a fine of $20 per day be assessed.
Page 24, number 46, WR 2000-389. The owner is Riverwalk Townhomes Association Incorporated. Location 10615 Riverwalk Court. We have service and no one is present.
On Thursday, 4/2020 at 7:43 a.m., Officer Ted Baker arrived at the property and found the irrigation system on the left side of the entrance. This is watering on a restricted day. Notice of violations 4/29/2020, default 6/1/2020. Notice of hearing was mailed 12/4/2020. $100 fine with no previous violations.
I rule in case WR 20000389 that based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the water resources penalty fine for illegal sprinkling imposed by section 111-7, Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances and Laws, Part B, Public Utilities. I grant the violator 30 days to pay the water penalty fine imposed. Order if that payment is not made by that date, a fine of $20 per day be assessed.
Number 47, WR 2000-428. The owner is TAHMS Borrower LLC, location 11521 Mountain Bay Drive. We have service and no one is present.
This occurred on Friday, 5/1/2020 at 6:04 a.m. Officer Paul Whaley arrived at the property and found the irrigation system on the left side of the driveway. This is watering on a restricted day. The notice of violation was sent out 5/4/2020. Default was sent out 6/9/2020. Notice of hearing was posted by Officer Whaley on 11/23/2020. $100 fine with no previous cases.
I rule in case WR 20000428 that based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the water resources penalty fine for illegal sprinkling imposed by section 111-7, Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances and Laws, Part B, Public Utilities. I grant the violator 30 days to pay the water penalty fine imposed. Order if that payment is not made by that date, a fine of $20 per day be assessed.
Page 25, number 48, WR 2000-445. The owner is AH4R Properties LLC. Location 11847 Valhalla Woods Drive. We have service and no one is present.
This occurred on Tuesday, 4/28/2020 at 7:20 a.m. Officer Ted Baker arrived at the location and found the irrigation system on in the rear of the property. This was watering on a restricted day. The notice of violation was sent out 5/5/2020. Default was sent out 6/9/2020. Notice of hearing was mailed 12/4/2020. $100 fine with no previous cases.
I rule in case WR 20000445 that based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the water resources penalty fine for illegal sprinkling imposed by section 111-7, Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances and Laws, Part B, Public Utilities. I grant the violator 30 days to pay the water penalty fine imposed. Order if that payment is not made by that date, a fine of $20 per day be assessed.
Number 49, WR 2000-505. The owner is American Homes for Rent Properties 7, LLC, location 11267 Creekhaven Drive. We have service and no one is present.
This occurred on Friday, 5/8/2020 at 5:48 a.m. Officer Paul Whaley arrived at the location and found the irrigation system on the front of the property. This was watering on a restricted day. The notice of violation was sent out 5/11/2020. Default was sent out 6/17/2020. Notice of hearing was 6/17/2020 with a $100 fine and no previous cases.
I rule in case WR 20000505 that based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the water resources penalty fine for illegal sprinkling imposed by section 111-7, Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances and Laws, Part B, Public Utilities. I grant the violator 30 days to pay the water penalty fine imposed. Order if that payment is not made by that date, a fine of $20 per day be assessed.
Page 26, number 50, WR 2000-566. The owner is Progress Residential Borrower 7, LLC. Location 9042 Egret Cove Circle. We have service and no one is present.
This occurred on Tuesday, 5/12/2020 at 6:31 a.m. Officer Baker arrived at the location, found the irrigation system on the front yard, the right side. This was watering on a restricted day. Notice of violation was sent out 5/14/2020, default 6/16/2020. The notice of hearing was mailed 12/4/2020, $100 fine with no previous cases.
I rule in case WR 2000566 that based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the water resources penalty fine for illegal sprinkling imposed by section 111-7, Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances and Laws, Part B, Public Utilities. I grant the violator 30 days to pay the water penalty fine imposed. In order, if that payment is not made by that date, a fine of $20 per day be assessed.
Number 51, WR 2000-602. This case was pulled for staff on December 4th, 2020. Page 27, number 52, WR 2000-791. I don't believe we were able to get the ladies back on the phone.
Okay. So did I already rule on those cases?
You ruled on another case that they had.
Which case was that?
It was on the next page. It was number 54. You dismissed.
I dismissed that case.
You did.
They were online.
They were online.
Yes.
But I didn't know we had another case.
Oh, for them?
Yeah, number 52 is the same people, and I did not catch it.
Oh, neither did I.
Do you want us to pull it and bring it back another time?
No, that's fine. I rule in case WR 2000791 to be dismissed.
Number 53, WR 2000-941. The owner is Progress Residential Borrower 9 LLC, location 8309 Deerland Bluff Lane. We have service and no one is present.
This occurred on Thursday, 7/9/2020 at 7:41 a.m. Officer Baker arrived at the property and found the irrigation system on the front yard, the right side. This was watering on a restricted day. The notice of violation was sent out 7/15/2020. Default was sent 8/18/2020. Notice of hearing was mailed 12/4/2020 with a $100 fine and no previous violations.
I rule in case WR 2000941 that based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the water resources penalty fine for illegal sprinkling imposed by section 111-7, Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances and Laws, Part B, Public Utilities. I grant the violator 30 days to pay the water penalty fine imposed. Order, if that payment is not made by that date, a fine of $20 per day be assessed.
That concludes the water ordinance cases.
Thank you. Excellent job.
And for the record, on page 31 under landscaping and natural resource, number 59, L205902, this case complied December 4th, 2020. We will go to the beginning of the agenda now for the BA cases, and I believe Tina Burney is online. Few people here to testify. Do you want to hear those first?
Yes, please.
Okay. Page 2, number 3. Case number BA 113434B. The owner is Walter R. Swepson and Maritha S. Swepson, location 13426 Palmyra Vista Drive. We have service, and Mr. Swepson has signed in virtually. Is he? He is not?
He signed up, but did not sign in.
Okay. We'll skip that one then. Page 8, number 16, BA 42678. The owner is Ella M. Harvey. Location 4514 Tarpon Drive. We have service, and I believe Ms. Harvey is here in the audience. Good morning. Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And state your name and address.
My name is Ella Harvey. My address is 4514 East Topham Drive, 33617.
Thank you. And I believe Tina Burney is online to present the case.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. If you could just speak up a little bit.
Okay, Tina Burney, Hillsborough County Consumer and Veteran Services. Case BA 42678, data false alarm 8/20/19, 8/22/19, service 12/31/19, amount due 175, no additional outstanding violations.
Ms. Harvey, what would you like to tell us?
I was home each time that the alarm went off and the officer came to my house. I talked to the lady on the phone and told her that I didn't need anybody because I was at home. And when I look up, officer's there. And the next thing I know, I get a letter saying I owe $175 for all of this that was going on. I called Brink's company and told them. They came out and changed my system. So I have a new one now. I haven't had any problem with it. So I'm just here now.
Okay. Did you bring any paperwork with you about them replacing your system, that you had it repaired or fixed?
No, they didn't give me the paperwork. They just changed the system out. I have a digital one now.
Okay. And since that, I guess the last violation was 8/22 of last year, you have any issues
I
with
haven't had any problems. So.
Fantastic. Ms. Harvey, it's the holiday season and you have sat through this entire thing, so I'm going to dismiss your case.
Thank you.
So we'll move forward with this, and I hope that your alarm company continues to keep you safe.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming out. I rule in case BA 42678 that this case is dismissed.
Turn to page 11, number 22, BA 113026. John E. Johnson, Jose J. Johnson, and Babe R. Johnson, location 12959 Lake Vista Drive. We have service, and someone is here for this case. Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And state your name and address.
Jose Johnson, 12959 Lake Vista Drive, Gibsonton, Florida, 33534.
Thank you.
Case BA 113026, data false alarm 9/5/19, service 1/30/20, amount due $75, no additional outstanding violations.
Thank you. Mr. Johnson?
So in summary, I had a number of issues with the alarm system installed by ADT. It would go off anytime we were doing renovations and there was dust in the air. On the day of the final violation, quote unquote, I'm at work and I get a phone call from someone who doesn't identify themselves. They don't really say that they're from ADT. They just sort of demand my passcode. And it was unusual because I usually get an alert on my phone or a text from my wife saying, I'm just doing renovations, everything's fine, I disengaged. And none of those things had happened by this time. And so I'm telling him, I said, hey, let me place you on a brief hold just so I can check to make sure this is legit. You're demanding my passcode. I don't even know your name. I look down at my phone. Sure enough, the alert comes through maybe 10 seconds later. I get back on the phone. He's gone. So I call back to ADT. I say, everything's fine. Here's my pass information. My wife's checked in. There's no emergency. So the guy says, we'll go ahead and get it canceled. I mean, all of this happens within 2 minutes. There's no officer presence. And weeks later, I get this notice. But all the previous violations before that were because of the ineffective system, essentially. They've come out and replaced it. They have sent technicians out to give us new keypads and things like that. And every time it appears as if someone has pressed a panic alarm, but it's not the case. It's just dust in the air from renovations. So I don't believe that we owe the fine because, number one, the final time there was no officer presence. We canceled it within a reasonable amount of time.
Okay. Are your renovations complete?
No, it's far from it. I mean, it's just DIY, you know, it's a new home or a new home for us. And there's just so much to update, but we haven't had any issues since this final.
Okay. Yeah. Ms. Burney, Mr. Johnson's testimony is that that no officer was sent out for that. My understanding for this violation is if an officer is assigned and arrives, that's the reason for this. Is that correct?
It's a false alarm from the first call. If it's canceled and no officer shows, it's still considered a false alarm.
Thank you. I am in the holiday spirit today, and I've already established a standard, and you are the last gentleman to see me in person today.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Finish those renovations, and if there are any other issues with it will show up as a recurring case, so that we'll have to do something next time out.
Okay.
All right?
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. I move in case BA 113026 that this case be dismissed.
Page 14, number 27, BA 117676. The owner is Cindy Stemple, location 11120 Rodeo Lane. We have service. And I believe someone is virtual for this case.
Yep. I'm here.
Cindy,
can we get her on the screen?
Your video.
Oh, okay. Hold on a second. Hello. Okay. Okay.
Is there? Good morning. Please. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
State your name and address.
Cindy Stemfield, 11120 Rodeo Lane, Riverview, Florida, 33579.
Thank you.
Case BA 117676. Data false alarm 1120, service 7/21/20, amount due $75, no additional outstanding violations.
Okay, ma'am, what would you like to tell us?
I think I remember that day one of my siblings came in the house and the alarm went off because they didn't turn it off. And when they, I think the officers did show up, I'm not even sure, but I told them it was a false alarm and I called ADT. When they called me, I said everything was okay, and they were like, okay. So I didn't even know I owed the $75, honestly, until I seen this letter that came to my door. So if it was that, I would have been paid the money. Honestly, I just didn't really know that happened.
Ms. Burney, do we have a history at this location?
A history of false alarms?
It's their third one. That was the last one.
Yeah, it happens. I'm not gonna lie, because my siblings come in and they don't turn off the alarm, or to be my boyfriend or something. So that's why I don't keep the alarm on anymore. I just don't turn it on, honestly, because of that.
I understand. Okay. Well, based on the history of false alarms, and I know you would have paid it, but for the first time I came around, so I'm gonna reduce this fine and give you some time to pay it. Okay?
Oh, that'd be good. Thank you.
I rule in case BA 117676 that based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the false alarm penalty fine imposed by County Ordinance 04-16. I grant the violator 45 days to pay the fine imposed in order if that payment is not made by that date, a fine of $15 per day be assessed. The fine, I also order that the fine be reduced to $35.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Keep an eye on that now.
I will. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, back to page 1, number 1, and that does conclude everybody I have noted for testimony. Page 1, number 1, case number BA 118812. This case complied December 3rd, 2020. Number 2, BA 117613. The owner is Leonilda Avellino, 6208 North Clark Avenue. We have service and no one is present.
Case BA 117613. Data false alarm 7/29/19, 8/4/19, 8/5/19, 8/23/19, 8/24/19, 9/7/19. Service 1/8/20. Amount due $1,625. No additional outstanding violations.
Have we had any communication with this violator at all?
No, she has not contacted us. No. I'm sorry. She did appeal it. It was denied in October 2019.
Okay. Appeal was denied and she has yet to pay.
Correct.
We're currently running?
There's $1,625 outstanding.
Continuing to run?
There's no daily fines yet, no. She's just had 8 violations.
Okay, thank you. I rule in case BA 117613 that based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the false alarm penalty fine imposed by County Ordinance 04-16. Therefore, I grant the violator 60 days to pay the fine imposed. In order if that payment is not made by that date, a fine of $20 per day be assessed.
Page 2, number 3, BA 113434B, Walter Swepson and Maritha S. Swepson, 13246 Palmyra Vista Drive. We have service and no one is present.
Case BA 113434B, data false alarm 10/1/19, 10/12/19, 10/13/19, 12/4/19. Service 2620. Amount due $1,600. No additional outstanding violations.
I rule in case BA 113434B that based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the false alarm penalty fine imposed by County Ordinance 04-16. I grant the violator 60 days to pay the fine imposed. In order if that payment is not made by that date, a fine of $20 per day be assessed.
Number 4, BA 96470A. This case complied December 3rd, 2020. Page 3, number 5, BA 24268. This case complied November 10th, 2020. Number 6, BA 33458. The owner is Puritan Place Apartments, LLC, location 7903 Holly Lee Court. We have service and no one is present.
Case BA 33458, data false alarm 1620, 11720, 32320, 32420. Service 8/27/20. Amount due $625. No additional outstanding violations.
Case BA 33458 that based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the false alarm penalty fine imposed by County Ordinance 04-16. I grant the violator 45 days to pay the fine imposed. In order if that payment is not made by that date, a fine of $20 per day be assessed.
Page 4, number 7, BA 112077. The owner is Gateway Brokers Incorporated and the violator Trademark Metals Warehouse, 11538 US Highway 92 East. We have service on both parties and no one is present.
Case BA 112077, data false alarm 1420, service 7/17/20. Amount due $500. No additional outstanding violations.
Case BA 112077 that based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the false alarm penalty fine imposed by County Ordinance 04-16. I grant the violator 45 days to pay the fine imposed. In order if that payment is not made by that date, a fine of $20 per day be assessed.
Number 8, BA 23684. The owner is Gloria Gaffney, location 4422 Tarpon Drive. We have service and no one is present.
Case BA 23684, data false alarm 12/19/19, 2/9/20, 3/22/20, 4/24/20. Service 8/27/20. Amount due $425. Additional outstanding violations $950.
I rule in case BA 23684, the based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the false alarm penalty fine imposed by County Ordinance 04-16. I grant the violator 30 days to pay the fine imposed, or if the payment is not made by that date, a fine of $30 per day be assessed.
Page 5, number 9, BA 95341B. The owner is Beezer Homes Corporation, location 13314 Palmyra Vista Drive. We have service and no one is present.
Case BA 95341B, date of false alarm 11/14/19, 2/16/20, 4/2/20. Service 7/17/20, amount due $350. Additional outstanding violations $175.
I rule in case BA 95341B, that based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the false alarm penalty fine imposed by County Ordinance 04-16. I grant the violator 30 days to pay the fine imposed, or if the payment is not made by that date, a fine of $30 per day be assessed.
Number 10, BA 116285. The owner is Jody Toner, location 1805 Palm Warbler Lane. We have service and no one is present.
Case BA 116285, date of false alarm 12/17/19, 12/21/19, 12/23/19, service 7/15/20, amount due $325. Additional outstanding violations 100.
I rule in case BA 116285, that based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the false alarm penalty fine imposed by County Ordinance 04-16. I grant the violator 30 days to pay the fine imposed, or if the payment is not made by that date, a fine of $20 per day be assessed.
Excuse me, to go back to page 2 and number 3, where Mr. Swepson had signed up to be virtual. I just got a message that he was not able to get online. He was trying to. You've already ruled 60 days or $20 a day. Do you want to try to get him back on the phone and do that one again?
Sure, if he's able to if we can get him back, that's a significant penalty. So I'd like to hear his testimony if possible.
All right, and then for now, we'll continue on until we can hopefully get him back. Okay, page 6, number 11, BA 85404B. This case complied November 24, 2020. Number 12, BA 107947. The owner is Ramon Anzardo Portelis, 2012 Clarice Circle. We have service and no one is present.
Case BA 107947, date of false alarm 8/31/19, 10/5/19, service 110/20, amount due $175, additional outstanding $100.
Should I rule in case BA 107947, the based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the false alarm penalty fine imposed by County Ordinance 04-16. I grant the violator 30 days to pay the fine imposed, or if that payment is not made by that date, a fine of $25 per day be assessed.
Page 7, number 13, VA 114297. The owner is VR Citrus LP and the violator is Citrus Run Apartments, 8870 West Waters Avenue. We have service and no one is present.
Case BA 114297, date of false alarm 11/22/19, 2/3/20, service 7/15/20, amount due $175, no additional outstanding violations.
I rule in case BA 114297 that based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the false alarm penalty fine imposed by County Ordinance 04-16. I grant the violator 30 days to pay the fine imposed, or if that payment is not made by that date, a fine of $20 per day be assessed.
My apologies, we did not get service on that case, and so we're going to have to.
I'd rather not rule on it if we don't have
Then,
service.
yeah, we would need to try again for another hearing.
All right, we'll pull that one. Thank you.
Okay, number 14, BA 119066. The owner is Nicole Fortunat, location 10511 Goldwater Lane. We have service and no one is present.
Case BA 119066, data false alarm 11/13/19, 12/8/19, 3/13/20, amount due $175, no additional outstanding violations.
In case BA 119066, that based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the false alarm penalty fine imposed by County Ordinance 04-16. I grant the violator 30 days to pay the fine imposed. In order, if that payment is not made by that date, a fine of $20 per day be assessed.
Page 8, number 15, BA 119597. The owner is James Eisel, 1210 Sagamore Drive. We have service and no one is present.
Case BA 119597, data false alarm 12/23/19, 1/2/20, service 7/17/20, amount due $175, no additional outstanding violations.
In case BA 119597, that based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the false alarm penalty fine imposed by County Ordinance 04-16. I grant the violator 30 days to pay the fine imposed. Order, if the payment is not made by that date, a fine of $20 per day be assessed.
Page 9, number 17, BA 95341A, Beezer Homes Corporation, location 13314 Palmera Vista Drive. We have service and no one is present.
Case BA 95341A, data false alarm 7/23/19, 10/17/19, service 1/2/20, amount due $175, additional outstanding violations $350.
I rule in case BA 95341A that based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the false alarm penalty fine imposed by County Ordinance 04-16. I grant the violator 30 days to pay the fine imposed. Order, if the payment is not made by that date, a fine of $30 per day be assessed.
Number 18, BA 105477A. The owner is BMZ Properties LLC, 6301 East Hillsborough Avenue. We have service and no one is present.
Case BA 105477A, data false alarm 8/24/19, service 2/21/20, amount due $150, additional outstanding violations $250.
I rule in case BA 105477A that based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the false alarm penalty fine imposed by County Ordinance 04-16. I grant the violator 30 days to pay the fine imposed. Order, if that payment is not made by that date, a fine of $30 per day be assessed.
Page 10, number 19, BA 109361. The owner is Kiana C. Perez and Adam C. Friends, and the violator is Yvette Bowers, 16513 Kingle Ridge Avenue. We have service and no one is present.
Case BA 109361, data false alarm 8/8/19, service 1/3/20, amount due $100, no additional outstanding violations.
In case BA 109361, that based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the false alarm penalty fine imposed by County Ordinance 04-16. I grant the violator 30 days to pay the fine imposed. Order, if the payment is not made by that date, a fine of $15 per day be assessed.
Number 20, BA 103863. This case complied November 30, 2020. Page 11, number 21, BA 110106. This case complied November 23, 2020. Page 12, number 23, BA 114600. The owner is Lambo One LLC, 1248 East Fowler Avenue. We have service and no one is present.
Case BA 114600, data false alarm 12/9/19, service 7/15/20, amount due $75, additional outstanding violation $75.
I rule in case BA 114600 that based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the false alarm penalty fine imposed by County Ordinance 04-16. I grant the violator 30 days to pay the fine imposed, or the payment is not made by that date, a fine of $20 per day be assessed.
Number 24, BA 115876. The owner is Amber Smith, 4408 Tuscan Loon Drive. We have service and no one is present.
Case BA 115876, data false alarm 8/31/19, service 129/20, amount due $75, no additional outstanding violations.
BA 115876, the basis of the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the false alarm penalty fine imposed by County Ordinance 04-16. I grant the violator 30 days to pay the fine imposed. Order, if the payment is not made by that date, a fine of $15 per day be assessed.
Page 13, number 25, BA 116628. The owner is Jennifer Christine McCarthy, 14603 Mirabel Vista Circle. We have service and no one is present.
Case BA 116628, data false alarm 12/15/19, service 7/15/20, amount due $75, no additional outstanding violations.
I rule in case BA 116628, the basis of the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the false alarm penalty fine imposed by County Ordinance 04-16. I grant the violator 30 days to pay the fine imposed. Order, if that payment is not made by that date, a fine of $15 per day be assessed.
Number 26, BA 116908. The owner is Juanita Enzer, 5819 Langston Drive. We have service and no one is present.
Case BA 116908, data false alarm 124/20, service 8/28/20, amount due $75, additional outstanding violations $275.
I rule in case BA 116908, based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the false alarm penalty fine imposed by County Ordinance 04-16. I grant the violator 30 days to pay the fine imposed. Order, if the payment is not made by that date, a fine of $25 per day be assessed.
Page 14, number 28, BA 118025. This case complied December 1st, 2020. Page 15, number 29, BA 118181. The owner is Kenzie Haywood, 5406 South 87th Street. We have service and no one is present.
Case BA 118181, data false alarm 124/20, service 8/28/20, amount due $75, no additional outstanding violations.
A 118181, based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the false alarm penalty fine imposed by County Ordinance 04-16. I grant the violator 30 days to pay the fine imposed. Order, if that payment is not made by that date, a fine of $15 per day be assessed.
Number 30, BA 27878. This case complied November 30, 2020. Page 16, number 31, BA 31554. The owner, David J. Sussman and Sandra E. Sussman, 11715 Rolling Oaks Lane. We have service and no one is present.
Case BA 31554, data false alarm 9/23/19, service 24/20, amount due $75, no additional outstanding violations.
In case BA 31554, the basis of the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the false alarm penalty fine imposed by County Ordinance 04-16. I grant the violator 30 days to pay the fine imposed. In order, if that payment is not made by that date, a fine of $15 per day be assessed.
Number 32, BA 52269B. This case was pulled for staffs. Page 17, number 33, BA 77767. The owner is Kwok K. Chung and Fan D. Chung. Look, the violator is Supreme Mart, 1908 Fletcher Avenue. We have service and no one is present.
Case BA 77767, data false alarm 8719, service 12/31/19, amount due $75, no additional outstanding violations.
I rule in case BA 77767, the basis of the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the false alarm penalty fine imposed by County Ordinance 04-16. I grant the violator 30 days to pay the fine imposed. Order, if that payment is not made by that date, a fine of $15 per day be assessed.
That concludes the agenda.
We still have somebody, we're trying to get somebody online? Okay.
Okay, and that's going to go back to page 2, number 3 of the BA cases. We already had an order on it, but the people were trying to get online.
Understand. adjourn for 10 minutes for some refreshments, make a rest stop, and get this coordinated, and then we'll come back together.
Hello, Walter. Can you hear me?
You should have your host be able to talk.
You should be able to see me now, Walter. Can you hear me?
You should be able to unmute yourself.
He's unmuted. I could hear him.
Okay.
Can he hear me?
Moderator to talk to you.
Can you hear me, Walter?
Not yet. I see you.
Walter, can you hear me?
No, the gentleman you see is actually the moderator. I'm a different person.
Okay.
Walter, can you hear me? He might have to turn up his volume. Try that one.
Your volume up on your laptop so you can hear the audio coming through the laptop.
Check.
Okay.
Walter, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Excellent. Okay, we got you on. So you're just gonna stand by for now, and we'll let the magistrate know we have you on.
Okay, thank you.
Walter, stand by. We're taking a break right now, just while we had that. I believe you're the last case, so we'll be coming back in just a few seconds, and you should see everything pop right up.
Okay, thank you.
Walter, please stand by. We'll be starting again in just a few minutes. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm standing by.
Attention, we are live in 3, 2, 1.
I call this meeting of the special magistrate back to order.
Okay, we will go back to page 2, number 3, case number BA 113434B. The owner is Walter Swepson and Maritha Swepson, 13246 Palmera Vista Drive. We have service, and I believe we have Mr. Swepson online.
Case BA 113434B. Data false alarm 10/119 and 12/19.
Please stand
I
by.
think Tina's talking. Mr. Swepson, raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
State your name and address.
Walter Swepson, 13426 Palmera Vista Drive, Riverview, Florida, 33579.
Case BA 113434B. Data false alarm 10/119 and 12/19 and 13/19, 12/4/19. Service 2620. Amount due $1,600. No additional outstanding violation.
Okay, Mr. Swepson, thank you for coming back on. I noticed your penalty fine amount was significant, so I really wanted to talk to you a little bit about what the situation was and hear your side. So if you can tell me what you need to tell me, I would appreciate it.
September 2019, we had to leave our home and go into a hotel because the floors were damaged because of moisture, and Dry Right Company had to come in and bring in their equipment, and with Beazer Homes also to dry out the floors. So they put us in a hotel. We stayed at the Uptown Suites, and when they would set the alarm, they were in charge of the system, the home then, and they had equipment inside the house, and they set the alarm on stay, I believe it was, and the alarm would go off, and we would get a call at the hotel saying there was an alarm going off at your home. Do you want us to send the police out? So we told them, yeah, I guess you better send out the police, because I don't know what's going on. And Dry Right, we gave them showed them the first bill that came, and they were supposed to take care of it because they're in the house. We didn't move back in until December, the end of December, when everything was totally fixed in the home. I'm back in the home now, but this year, July 29th, my wife passed away, and she would take care of all the bills, and I was at work most of the time, and I thought maybe she'd take care of every problem, and she passed away July 29th. That's about all.
Terribly sorry for your loss, sir.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad we got you back on the phone and an opportunity to understand your situation. Technically, the homeowner is liable for these things.
Yes.
But in your case, I don't see any reason to hold you accountable for these fines. So I'm going to dismiss this case for you, Mr. Swepson, okay?
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you and happy holidays. Thank you for coming back on.
All right, thank you. Bye now.
Thank you, sir. I move in case BA 113434B that this case be dismissed. Any other cases?
I believe that's the end of it.
That being said, I conclude our business today and we are adjourned.